Okay, so we bought a couple of garage doors, and contractor that bought them misordered them, so they were 10-foot doors, and just happens that we need 9-foot doors, so we're going to cut these down so that they fit our need, and we got a good deal on the price because of the misorder, so it's all working out for everybody, except there's a little work involved. Already marked 6 inches off of each side because we got to maintain the center for the hinges, and so we're going to cut these off both sides. There's a foam core in them because they're insulated, so that has to be cut through, and then this end cap needs to be removed and it's put on with some kind of adhesive, kind of like a hot melt glue, and then on the inside there's kind of a press riveted strip that's on the inside as a reinforcement for the hardware, so that's got to come out of there and then be put back into the other door so it can be reused. So we'll get started with that. Well, in case you were wondering, what I did use to cut the doors is angle grinder, obviously, and a diamond coated blade. These things are pretty decent for cutting metal, but they're really slow. Don't do really well on thick metal, but this thin stuff like this cuts through it fairly well. And it does have the advantage over the other kind of abrasive wheels in that the diameter of this doesn't change an appreciable amount over its life. It's only got a small coat on the edge, so while you're using it, that lasts for quite a while. The other ones tend to be really dusty, dirty, throw grit all over your work and everything, but they do cut faster and cut through thicker metal. So there's some trade-offs and things, but that seems to work for me. There could have been other choices that may have been a little better, but these are kind of expensive doors, so I wanted to be real careful in what I was doing and not mess it up. So here's what the inside of the board looks like. And it's got foam sandwiched in between two layers of metal. The metal interlocks on the ends. You got your reinforcement for the side of the door for hardware. And you can get in here with a plastic tool and pop that loose from the front edge. But this back side is glued on, and it's a pretty aggressive adhesive. It's real difficult to break. So I'm going to take a heat gun and warm this up so that it comes loose, and then we'll get this outer plate off. There's the line of glue right there. Pretty clean. And so now we gotta get these two halves apart, and there's a metal strip inside of here that needs to be recovered. So after pulling apart the section from the other half and breaking it loose from the foam that's on the inside, you can see the rivets. They're not really rivets, but the metal's been pressed together so that it kind of forms like a rivet. And you can get in there with a putty knife and separate those pretty easily. And even if they don't just pop off, you can at least shear off the metal from this side here, and it stays inside of the headed part here, so that you can reuse this piece of metal to fasten the hardware to the door on the inside. So now this reinforcing strip has to go back into the door, and it's inside the other side of this white part inside here, so that you can attach your hardware for the hinges and that. So it has to go in about a ½ inch deeper than the outside edge, so I just marked on my putty knife that distance. I'm going to just go in under here and loosen that up. They have adhesive sprayed all the way down the length of the panel, and then they put the foam on it apparently, and so it's stuck on there pretty good. It's not too difficult to push a knife into it and loosen it up, and then that'll let that strip go back where it belongs. So after getting that reinforcing strip back in there, the last thing's left to do is to put this strip on the outside edge, and that's just a simple matter of hooking it over the material, pushing it on. Make sure it's centered up on the panel, and then just put a piece of tape across there to hold it in, and then when the screws are put in for the hinges during installation, that'll hold everything in place that was taken apart. So it'll be just as good as new. And so we've taken a door that somebody wouldn't have been able to use and turned it into something that we can use, and the price was good on it, so it pays to hunt around and do your own modifications to things. So only got 4 more of these to do for each door set, because we got 2 doors. And next time you see this, hopefully it'll be going into the garage. That's all there is to it. Maybe that'll help somebody out salvage up a set of doors for themselves. And it shows you about anything's possible if you just take the time to figure out how it's put together and make a plan to change it to the way you want it to work.